Good morning, students. Today we will read the remaining part of chapter number 3, and the chapter's name is The Shepherd's Treasure. Students, I have written the word meaning. See the word meaning here. Astonished means amazed. Dignity, high rank. Chest, a large and strong box. Ignore means overlook. Fasten means tied. Cloaks means royal robes. Securely means tightly and strongly, and summoned means called in court. Students, we read that the shepherd was very poor. He lived in a village in Iran. He had never gone to school because there were very few schools in those days. That's why he did not know how to read and write. Though he was uneducated and poor, but he was very wise and intelligent. People always came to him for seeking advice whenever they faced any kind of problem. And the shepherd always helped all those persons who came to him with courage and with his common sense. Soon he became very famous. The king also heard about him and he thought to meet him. That's why the king changed his appearance and he went where the shepherd was living. The king, when the shepherd saw that a traveler was coming towards his cave, then he stood up and he welcomed him. He took the king inside his cave. He gave him cold water and he also gave some share of his own food. The king rested there for the whole night and he became very impressed when he heard the wise conversation and when he saw the hospitality of that shepherd. Now, see the next portion which we read today. The king was still tired, he was still weary, but now he decided to leave. He decided to move from there, and that's why he thanked the shepherd and he said, he thanked the shepherd for showing his kindness and goodness towards him. And he said that there was a long way he had to go, so the shepherd should allow him to go. The shepherd looked towards the king and he also thanked the king for visiting there. The king was very amazed and he was very pleased. He thought that the shepherd was really wise and he needed the wise and intelligent people like the shepherd who could work for him. And that's why the king appointed the shepherd, the king appointed him the governor of a small district. When he was appointed the governor, though he was given power and high rank, but the shepherd was still polite, he was still kind as he was earlier. People always loved and respected him for his goodness and sympathy. He was kind and just for everyone. That's why he became very famous throughout the whole country. The other governors grew jealous because of his popularity and they started talking to the king against him. They said that the new governor was very dishonest. He kept himself the part of money which he collected as tax from the people. They also added that he always carried an iron strong and large box. And after all, they mockingly said that he was a common shepherd, so he could behave no better than this. The king could not pay attention to these reports, but how long he could overlook such kind of false stories about the shepherd. So the king became sure, one thing was sure, which he discovered, that the shepherd, his new governor, always carried an iron chest. So the king became very angry and he called his new governor in the court. The new governor, who was the shepherd, he came sitting on the camel, and the iron chest was also tied behind him on the back of the camel. The king asked the shepherd, he asked the new governor why he always carried that iron chest with him and what it contained. The shepherd replied, the shepherd smiled and he ordered his servants to bring that iron chest in the court. When it was bring in the court, everybody who was present there, they thought that the new governor would be found out accused. But when it was opened, everybody became quite amazed, including king also, because there was nothing, there was no gold, no silver. It contained only an old blanket. The shepherd showed that blanket proudly and said that, dear sir, this was his own treasure which he always carried with him. The king was puzzled. He again asked why he carried such ordinary blanket with him, as he was the governor of a district. The new governor, the shepherd, replied that this blanket was his old friend, and it would still protect him if any time the king should wish to take away his royal robes, his royal dress. The old blanket would always protect him when, if at any time the king should wish to take away his royal dress. The king became very pleased, and the other governors who were present there, who always complained him, who used to complain about him, they got ashamed, and now they came to know that the shepherd was really honest, he was really polite, and the wisest man in the land. So, on the same day, the king made the shepherd the governor of much bigger district. Okay? So, students, this chapter is over. You will write these word meanings in your notebook, and next turn I will provide you the question answer of this chapter. Okay? That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.